All right, everyone, welcome back to Amazing Sharks. So, this video, as you can see on your screen, is going to be in memory of my mother, Maria Wright. She passed away on the 2nd of this month, and it's been very difficult for us, but I thought I would make my next video in her memory, so she'll always have something on YouTube to honor how much of an amazing person she was. And if you stay tuned at the end of the video, there will be a short clip show of her just to show you guys what an amazing person she truly was. All right, you guys. So this week on Amazing Sharks, we are doing the amazing oceanic blacktip reef shark. As you know from my last week's video, I did the white tip, so I figured I'd follow it up with the black tip. Now, when you go to aquariums and things, these are the sharks you will most often see. In fact, I have a really amazing video clip of a feeding frenzy during feeding time at the Salt Lake City, Utah aquarium with these beautiful blacktip reef sharks. It was an amazing thing to see. It was really awesome, and I will also include this in this video. All right, so there are two different types of blacktip sharks. There's the blacktip shark and the oceanic blacktip reef shark. So just remember that they're two different species of sharks. So the first one we're going to talk about is the blacktip reef shark. They're a species of requiem shark, which can be easily identified by the prominent black tips on its fins. The most abundant sharks inhabiting tropical coral reefs of the Indian and Pacific Oceans. This species prefers shallow inshore waters. It's exposed for its dorsal fin as a common sight in the region. They're usually found over reef ledges and sandy flats, though it has also been known to enter brackish and freshwater environments. It typically attains a length of 5.2 feet. Like other sharks, the females are larger than the males. They have extremely small home range and exhibit strong sight fidelity, remaining within the same local area for up to several years at a time. It's an active predator of small bony fish, cephalopods, and crustaceans, and has also been known to feed on sea snakes and seabirds. Accounts of the blacktip reef shark's life history have been variable and contradictory, in part reflecting geographical differences within the species. Like other members of this family, the shark is viviparous, the females giving birth to 2 to 5 young on a biennial, annual, or possibly biannual cycle. Reports of gestation period range from 7 to 9 to 10 to 11 to possibly 16 months. Mating is preceded by the male following closely behind the female, likely attracted by her chemical signals. Newborn sharks are found further inshore and in shallower water than adults, frequently roaming in large groups over areas flooded by high tide. They are timid and skittish. It's difficult to approach and seldom poses a danger to humans unless roused by food. However, people wading through shallow water are at risk of having their legs mistakenly bitten. The shark is used for its meat, fins, and liver oil, but is not considered to be a commercially significant species. The International Union for Conservation of Nature has assessed the blacktip reef shark as vulnerable. Although the species as a whole remains widespread and relatively common, overfishing of the slow reproducing shark has led to its decline at a number of locales. Like most members of its genus, they're found throughout nearshore waters of tropical and subtropical Indo-Pacific. In the Indian Ocean, it occurs from South Africa to the Red Sea, including Madagascar, Mauritius, and Seychelles, and from there eastward along the coast of the Indian subcontinent to Southeast Asia, including Sri Lanka, the Andaman Islands, and the Maldives. In the Pacific Ocean, it is found from southern China and the Philippines to Indonesia, northern Australia, and New Caledonia. It also inhabits numerous oceanic islands, including Marshall, Gilbert Society, and Hawaiian Islands, and Tuamotu. Contrary to what more sources state, there is a report suggesting that the specimens of this species from Japanese waters might be from Taiwan. However, a number of sightings and captures of this species have been reported from the inshore waters of Ishigaki Island of Okinawa Prefecture in southern Japan. A Lesothian migrant, the shark has colonized the eastern Mediterranean Sea by way of the Suez Canal. Although it has been reported from a depth of 246 feet, the blacktip reef shark is usually found in water only a few meters deep and can often be seen swimming close to shore with its dorsal fin exposed. Younger sharks prefer shallow, sandy flats, while older sharks are most common around reef ledges and can also be found near reef drop-offs. This species has also been reported from brackish estuaries and lakes in Madagascar and freshwater environments in Malaysia, though it is not able to tolerate low salinity to the same degree as the bull shark. At Aldabra in the Indian Ocean, blacktip reef sharks congregate in the channels between the reef flats during low tide and travel to the mangroves when the water rises. There is equivocal evidence that the sharks from the northern and southern extremities of its distribution are migratory. All right, so the blacktip reef shark is a robustly built species with a streamlined typical shark form. It has a short, wide, rounded snout and moderately large oval eyes. Each nostril has a flap of skin in front that is expanded into a nipple-shaped lobe. Not counting small symphysical or central teeth, the tooth rows number 11 to 13, usually 12 on either side of the upper jaw, and 10 to 12, usually 11 on either side of the lower jaw. The upper teeth are upright to angled and narrowly triangular in shape, bearing serrations that are more coarse on the bases. The lower teeth are similar but more finely serrated. The teeth of adult males are more abruptly curved than those of the females. The pectoral fins are large and narrowly falcate or sickle-shaped, tapering to points. The sizable first dorsal fin is a high with a curving S-shaped rear margin and originates near the rear tips of the pectoral fins. The second dorsal fin is relatively large with a short rear margin and is placed opposite of the anal fin. There is no ridge between the dorsal fins. The shark has a pale grayish brown above and white below, with an obvious white band on the sides extending forward above from the anal fin. All the fins have black tips highlighted by lighter colored borders, which are especially striking on the first dorsal fin and lower caudal fin lobe. Most blacktip reef sharks are no more than 5.2 feet long, though rarely individuals may reach 5.9 feet or possibly 6.6 feet. The maximum weight on record with the International Game Fish Association is 30 pounds. Along with the gray reef shark and the white-tip reef shark, the blacktip reef shark is one of the three most common sharks inhabiting coral reefs in the Indo-Pacific. This species predominates in shallow habitats, while the other two are mostly found deeper. Fast swimming and active, the blacktip reef shark may be encountered alone or in small groups. Large social aggregations have also been observed. For the most part, juvenile and adult sharks are not segregated by sex, save for the movements of pregnant females to give birth. Individuals exhibit strong fidelity to particular areas where they may remain for several years. A tracking study off the Palmyra Atoll in Central Pacific has found the blacktip reef shark has a home range of about 0.55 kilometers or 0.21 square miles along the smallest of any shark species. The size and location of the range does not change with time of day. Within this range, 3 to 17% of the area constitute favorable hunting patches that are disproportionately occupied by resident sharks. The sharks spend most of their time swimming back and forth along reef ledges, making occasional short forays on sandy flats. Their average swimming speed decreases when the tide rises at night, possibly because the influx of colder water reduces their metabolism of the accompanying movement of prey fish, makes foraging easier. Blacktip reef sharks at Aldabra tend to be more mobile than those at Palmyra, with the recorded individual movements of 1.6 miles over 7 hours. Blacktip reef sharks, particularly small individuals, fall prey to larger fishes including groupers, gray reef sharks, tiger sharks, and members of their own species. At Palmyra Atoll, adults avoid patrolling tiger sharks by staying out of the central deeper lagoon. Their known parasites include tapeworms, a mysporadian in the genus Unicapsula, and the Mongolian Diphthomeris melanteri. One of the few documented examples of an infectious disease in a shark was a fatal case of hemorrhagic septicemia in a blacktip reef shark caused by the bacterium Aeromonas salamicida. As often the most abundant apex predator within its ecosystem, the blacktip reef shark plays a major role in structuring inshore ecological communities. Its diet is composed primarily of small teleost fishes, including mullet, groupers, grunters, jacks, margeras, wrasses, surgeonfish, and smelt whitings. Groups of blacktip reef sharks in the Indian Ocean have been observed herding schools of mullet against the shore for easier feeding. Squid, octopus, cuttlefish, shrimp, and mantis shrimp are also taken, as well as carrion and smaller sharks and rays, though this is rare. Off northern Australia, this species is known to consume sea snakes, Sharks off Palmyra Atoll have been documented preying on seabird chicks that have fallen out of their nests into the water. Miscellaneous items that have been found inside the stomachs of the species include algae, turtle grass, coral, hydrosa, birosa, rats, and stones. Researchers working at Inwatak Atoll in the Marshall Islands have found the blacktip reef shark can be readily attracted by splashing or striking metal tools against hard objects underwater, as well as by the scent of both healthy and injured fish. As with most sharks, the blacktip reef shark does not have any cone cells in its retina, limiting its ability to discriminate colors and fine details. Instead, its vision is adapted for sensitivity to movement or contrast under low light conditions, which is further enhanced by the presence of a reflective tapetum lucidum. Experiments have shown that the shark is capable of detecting small objects up to 5 to 10 feet away, but is unable to clearly discern the shape of the object. Electroreception is another means by which the shark can locate prey. Its ampulla lorenzni has a sensitivity of approximately 4 NV per centimeter and an effective range of 25 centimeters or 10 inches. Similar to the gray reef shark, the species becomes more excited and confident in the presence of other individuals of its species, and in extreme situations can be roused into a feeding frenzy. Feeding activity may be greater at night than during the day. All right. So the life history of the blacktip reef shark is very interesting. Like other members of its family, is a viviparous, though the details of its history vary across its range. Its reproductive cycle is annual off northern Australia, with mating taking place from January to February, as well as off Maria in French Polynesia, where mating occurs from November to March. The cycle is biennial off Aldabra, where intense competition within and between species for the food may constrain females to only bearing young every other year. Early accounts from the Indian Ocean and the Red Sea indicate a biennial cycle in these regions with 2 breeding seasons per year from June to July and December to January. If accurate, the shorter reproductive cycles of these subpopulations may be a consequence of warmer water. When receptive to mating, a female blacktip reef shark swims slowly in a sinusoidal pattern near the bottom with her head pointed down. Observations in the wild suggest female sharks release chemical signals that allow males to track them. Once the male finds her, he closes to around 5.9 inches and follows her with his snout oriented towards her vent. The courting male may also bite the female behind her gills or on her pectoral fins. These mating wounds heal completely after 4 to 6 weeks. After a period of synchronous swimming, the male pushes the female on her side and positions her so her head is against the bottom and her tail is raised. Once the female is in position, the male inserts one of his claspers into her cloaca. Copulation lasts for several minutes, after which the sharks separate and resume their regular behavior. Off Maria, individual older females mate and give birth at a consistent time every year, often within a week's precision, whereas younger females exhibit more variability in their timing. Younger females are also more likely to fail to become pregnant after mating. The gestation period has been reported as long as 10 to 11 months long in the Indian Ocean and Pacific Islands and 7 to 9 months long off northern Australia. Earlier authors have estimated a gestation period as long as 16 months, though the validity of the figure has subsequently been challenged. The female has a single functioning ovary and 2 functional uteruses, dividing into separate compartments for each embryo. Newly ovulated egg cases measure 1.5 inches to 1 inch. After hatching, the embryos are sustained by a yolk sac during the first stage of development. After 2 months, the embryo measures 1.6 inches long and has a well-developed external gills. After 4 months, the yolk sac has begun to be converted into a placental connection that attaches to the uterine wall. At this time, the embryo's dark fin markings develop. By 5 months, the embryo measures 9.4 inches and has reabsorbed its external gills. The placenta is fully formed, and though some yolk remains until 7 months into gestation. Parturition occurs from September to November, with females making use of shallow nursery areas interior of the reef. Newborn pups measure 16 to 20 inches long in the Indian Ocean and off northern Australia, while free-swimming pups as small as 13 inches long have been observed in the Pacific Islands. The litter size is 2 to 5, typically 4, and is not correlated with the female size. Young blacktip reef sharks commonly form large groups in water barely deep enough to cover their bodies, over sandflats, or in mangrove swamps close to shore. During high tide, they also moved into flooded coral platforms or seaweed beds. Growth is initially rapid. One documented captive shark grew an average of 9.1 inches per year in its first 2 years of life. The growth rate slows to around 2 inches per year in juveniles and adults. Males and females mature sexually at lengths of 37 inches and 38 inches respectively off northern Australia, and 41 inches to 43 inches respectively off Aldabra. Males mature at 38 inches long off the Palmyra Atoll. Under most circumstances, the blacktip reef shark has a timid demeanor and is easily frightened away by swimmers. However, its inshore habitat preferences bring it into frequent contact with humans, and thus it is regarded as potentially dangerous. As of early 2009, 11 unprovoked attacks and 21 attacks total, none fatal, were listed on the International Shark Attack File that are attributed to the blacktip reef shark. Most attacks involve sharks biting into the legs or feet of waders, apparently mistaking them for their natural prey, and do not result in serious injury. In the Marshall Islands, native islanders avoid blacktip reef shark attacks by swimming rather than wading through shallow water as a way of discouraging these sharks is to submerge one's body. The blacktip reef shark has also been known to become aggressive in the presence of bait and may pose a threat while attempting to steal the catches of spearfishers. The blacktip reef shark is a normal catch of coastal fisheries, such as those operating off Thailand and India, but is not targeted or considered commercially important. The meat sold fresh, frozen, dried, or salted, or smoked for human consumption. Liver oil and fins are used. The International Union for Conservation of Nature has assessed the blacktip reef shark as vulnerable and declining. Though it remains widespread and common overall, substantial local declines due to overfishing have now been documented in many areas. The species has a low reproductive rate, limiting its capacity for recovering from depletion. Blacktip reef sharks are popular subjects of public aquarium exhibits because of their stereotypically shark-like appearance, ability to breed in captivity, and modest size, and are also attractions for ecotourism divers. And that, my friends, is a blacktip reef shark. Now we're going to go over the blacktip shark, as they are very similar sharks, like I said, and it makes sense to do them both in the same video. Alright, so the blacktip shark. This is a species of requiem shark and part of the family Carcharidae. It is common to coastal tropical and subtropical waters around the world, including brackish habitats. Genetic analysis have revealed substantial variation within this species, with populations from the western Atlantic Ocean isolated and distinct from those from the rest of this range. The blacktip shark has a stout, fusiform body with a pointed snout, long gill slits, and no ridge between dorsal fins. Most individuals have black tips or edges on the pectoral, dorsal, pelvic, and caudal fins. It usually attains a length of 4.9 feet. Swift, energetic herbivores, blacktip reef sharks are known to make spinning leaps out of the water while attacking schools of small fish. Their demeanor has been depicted as timid compared to other large requiem sharks. Both juveniles and adults form groups of varying size. Like other members of its family, the blacktip shark is viviparous. Females bear 1 to 10 pups every other year. Young blacktip sharks spend the first months of their lives in shallow nurseries, and grown females return to the nurseries where they were born to give birth themselves. In the absence of males, females are also capable of asexual reproduction. So that's something very interesting that I didn't even know. Normally wary of humans, blacktip sharks can become aggressive in the presence of food and have been responsible for a number of attacks on people. This species is of importance to both commercial and recreational fisheries across many parts of its range, with its meat, skin, fins, and liver oil used. It has been assessed as vulnerable by the IUCN on the basis of its low reproductive rate and high value to fisheries. The closest relatives of the blacktip shark were originally thought to be the graceful shark and the spinner shark, due to similarities in morphology and behavior. However, this interpretation has not been borne out to studies of mitochondria and ribosomal DNA, which instead suggest affinity with the black-nosed shark. More work is required to fully resolve the relationship between the blacktip shark and other carcharhinus species. Analysis of mitochondrial DNA has also revealed two distinct lineages within the species, one occupying the western Atlantic and the other occupying the eastern Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific Oceans. This suggests that the Indo-Pacific blacktip sharks are descended from those in the eastern Atlantic, while the western Atlantic sharks become isolated by widening Atlantic Ocean on one side and the formation of the Isthmus of Panama on the other. Blacktip sharks from these two regions differ in morphology, coloration, and life history characteristics, and the eastern Atlantic lineage may merit more species status. Fossil teeth belonging to this species have been found in the early Mesocene deposits in Delaware and Florida. The blacktip shark has a robust, streamlined body with long, pointed snout and relatively small eyes. The 5 pairs of gill slits are longer than those of similar requiem shark species. The jaws contain 15 tooth rolls on either side, with 2 semiphical teeth at the jaw midline in the upper jaw and the semiphical tooth in the lower jaw. The teeth are broad-based with a high, narrow cusp and serrated edges. The first dorsal fin is tall and falcate or sickle-shaped with a short free rear tip. No ridge runs between the first and second dorsal fins. The large pectoral fins are palisade and pointed. The coloration is gray to brown above and white below, with a conspicuous white stripe running along the sides. The pectoral fins, second dorsal fin, and lower lobe of the caudal fin usually have black tips. The pelvic fins and rarely anal fin may also be black tipped. The first dorsal fin and the upper lobe of the caudal fin typically have black edges. Some larger individuals have unmarked or nearly unmarked fins. Black-tipped sharks can temporarily lose almost all their colors during blooms or whitenings of coccolithophores. This species attains a maximum known length of 9.2 feet, though 4.9 feet is more typical, and a maximum known weight of 271 pounds. They have a worldwide distribution in tropical and subtropical waters. In the Atlantic, it is found from Massachusetts to Brazil, including the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean Sea, and from the Mediterranean Sea, Madeira, and the Canary Islands to the Democratic Republic of Congo. It occurs all around the periphery of the Indian Ocean, from South Africa and Madagascar to the Arabian Peninsula and the Indian subcontinent to the Southeast Asia. In the Western Pacific, it is found from the Ryukyu Islands of Japan to northern Australia, including southern China, the Philippines, and Indonesia. In the eastern Pacific, it occurs from southern California to Peru. It has also been reported at a number of Pacific islands, including New Caledonia, Tahiti, and the Marquesas, Hawaii, Ribaggio, and the Galapagos. Most black-tipped sharks are found in waters less than 98 feet deep over continental and insular shelves, though they may dive to 210 feet. Favored habitats are muddy bays, inland lagoons, and drop-off near coral reefs. They are also tolerant of low salinity and enter estuaries and mangrove swamps. Although an individual may be found some distance offshore, black-tipped sharks do not inhabit oceanic waters. Seasonal migration has been documented for population off the east coast of the United States, moving north to North Carolina in the summer and south to Florida in the winter. They're an extremely fast, energetic predator that is usually found in groups of varying size. Segregation by sex and age does not occur. Adult males and non-pregnant females are found apart from pregnant females, and both are separated from juveniles. In Teresita Bay, Florida, a nursery area for the species, juvenile blacktips form aggregations during the day and disperse at night. They aggregate most strongly in the early summer when the sharks are youngest, suggesting they are seeking refuge from predators, mostly larger sharks in numbers. Predator avoidance may also be the reason why juvenile blacktips do not congregate in the areas of highest prey density in the bay. Adults have no known predators. Known parasites include copiopods and monogenes. This species is also parasitized by nematodes, which infest the ovaries. Like the spinner shark, the blacktip shark is known to leap out of the water and spin 3 or 4 times about its axis before landing. Some of these jumps are end product of feeding runs, in which the shark corkscrews vertically through the water through schools of small fish, and in its momentum launches it into the air. Observations in the Bahamas suggest that the blacktip sharks may also jump out of the water to dislodge attacked shark suckers, which irritate the shark's skins and compromise its hydrodynamic shape. The speed attained by the shark during these jumps has been estimated to average 21 feet per second. Black-tipped sharks have a timid disposition and consistently lose out to the Galapagos sharks and silver-tipped sharks of equal size when competing for food. If threatened or challenged, they may form an agnostic display. The shark swims towards the threat and then turns away while rolling from side to side, lowering its pectoral fins, tilting its head and tail upwards, and making sideways biting motions. The entire sequence lasts about 25 seconds. This behavior is similar to the actions of a shark attempting to move a shark sucker. One of these behaviors possibly is derived from the other. All right, fish make up most of this diet, 90% of this shark's diet. A wide variety of fish have been recorded as prey for this species. Sardines, menhaden, herring, anchovies, ladyfish, sea catfish, cornetfish, flatfish, threadfins, mullet, mackerel, jacks, grouper, snook, porgies, marjaras, emperors, grunts, butterfish, croakers, soles, tilapia, triggerfish, boxfish, and porcupine fish. They also feed on rays and skates, as well as smaller sharks such as smoothhounds and sharp-nosed sharks. Rays, crustaceans, and cephalopods are occasionally taken. In the Gulf of Mexico, the most important prey of the black ship is the Gulf menhaden, followed by the Atlantic croaker. Off South Africa, Jackson herring are the most important prey. Hunting peaks at dawn and dusk. The excitability and social ability of blacktip sharks make them prone to feeding frenzies when large quantities of food are suddenly available, such as when fishing vessels dump their refuse overboard. As with other requiem sharks, the blacktip shark is viviparous. Females typically give birth to 4 to 7, range 1 to 10 pups every year, making use of shallow coastal nurseries every other year, making use of shallow coastal nurseries that offer plentiful food and fewer predators. No nurseries include Pine Island South, Terra Sela Bay, Yankeetown along the Gulf Coast of Florida, Bulls Bay on the coast of South Carolina, and Pontal da Parana off the coast of Brazil. Although adult blacktip sharks are highly mobile and disperse over long distances, they are philanthropic and return to their original nursery areas to give birth. This results in a series of genetically distinct breeding stocks that overlap in geographic range. Mating occurs from spring to early summer, and the young are born to around the same time the following year after a gestation period of 10 to 12 months. Females have 1 functional ovary and 2 functional uteri. Each uterus is separated into compartments with a single embryo inside. The embryos are initially sustained by a yolk sac. In the 10th or 11th week of gestation, when the embryo measures 7.1 to 7.5 inches, the supply of yolk is exhausted and the yolk sac develops into a placental connection that sustains the embryo until birth. The length at birth is 22 to 24 inches off the eastern United States and 24 to 26 inches off North Africa. The mortality rate in the first 15 months of life is 61 to 91%, with major threats being predation and starvation. The young remain in the nurseries until their first fall, when they migrate to their wintering grounds. The growth rate of this species slows with age, 9.8 to 11.8 inches in the first 6 months, and then 7.9 inches a year until the second year, and then 3.9 inches a year until maturation. Then 2 inches a year for adults. The size of maturity varies geographically. Males and females mature at 4.6 to 4.9 feet and 5.2 feet respectively in the northeastern Atlantic, 4.3 to 4.6 feet and 4.9 to 5.2 feet respectively in the Gulf of Mexico, and 4.9 and 5.2 feet respectively off South Africa, 5.6 and 5.9 feet respectively off North Africa. The age of maturation is 4 to 5 years for males and 7 to 8 years for females, a lifespan of at least 12 years. In 2007, a 9-year-old female blacktip shark at the Virginia Aquarium and Marine Science Center was found to be pregnant with a single near-term female pump, despite having never mated with a male. Genetic analysis confirmed that her offspring was the product of automatic parthenogenesis, a form of asexual reproduction in which an ovum merges with a polar body to form a zygote without fertilization. Along with an earlier case of this in the bonnethead, this event suggests that asexual reproduction may be more widespread in sharks than previously thought. Blacktip sharks showing curiosity towards divers has been reported, but they remain at a safe distance. Under most circumstances, these timid sharks are not regarded as highly dangerous to humans. However, they may become aggressive in the presence of food, and their size and speed invite respect. As of 2008, the International Shark Attack File lists 28 unprovoked attacks, 1 fatal, and 13 provoked attacks by this species. Blacktip sharks are responsible annually for 16% of the shark attacks around Florida. Most attacks by this species result in only minor wounds. As one of the more common large sharks in coastal water, the blacktip shark is caught in large numbers by commercial fisheries throughout the world using long lines, fixed bottom nets, bottom trawls, and hook and line. The meat is of high quality and marketed fresh, frozen, or dried and salted. In addition, the fins are used for shark fin soup, the skin into leather, the liver oil for vitamins, and the carcasses for fish meal. Blacktip sharks are one of the most important species to the northwestern Atlantic shark fishery, second only to the sandbar shark. The flesh is considered superior to that of the sandbar shark, resulting in the sandbar and other requiem species being sold under the name blacktip shark in the United States. The blacktip shark is also very significant to India and Mexican fisheries and is caught in varying numbers by fisheries in the Mediterranean and South China Seas and off northern Australia. The blacktip shark is popular with recreational anglers in Florida, the Caribbean, and South Africa. It is listed as a game fish by the International Game Fish Association. Once hooked, this species is a strong, steady fighter that sometimes jumps out of the water. Since 1995, the number of blacktip sharks taken by recreational anglers in the United States has approached or surpassed the number taken by commercial fishing. The International Union for Conservation of Nature has assessed the blacktip shark as vulnerable, as its low reproductive rate renders it vulnerable to overfishing. The United States and Australia are the only two countries that manage fisheries catching blacktip sharks. In both cases, regulation occurs under umbrella management schemes for the multiple shark species, such as that for large coastal sharks category of the U.S. National Marine Fisheries Services Atlantic Shark Fishery Management Plan. No conservation plans specifically for this species have been implemented. And that, my friends, is the blacktip shark. And once again, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this video on the blacktip shark and the oceanic blacktip reef shark. I hope you enjoyed this video. As usual, please stay tuned after I am done here for a footage from the Salt Lake City, Utah aquarium that me and my fiance went to on our first date of a oceanic blacktip shark eating during their meal times at the aquarium. Beautiful sharks, beautiful video footage. It's taken from my cell phone, so it's not the best quality, but hopefully, it'll be good enough for you guys. I hope you will enjoy that. And at the very end of the video will be a short photo array of my mother, Maria Wright, who died on 5/2/2025. And again, this video is in her memory. She loved watching my videos when I made them. She was always asking about them, and she really enjoyed them. So I will keep making these videos in her memory. And I'm sorry, every time I think about her, because it's so close, I just start crying, and it's just so hard. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe, like, and comment, you guys. If there's any shark species you want to learn about that I haven't already done a video of, if there's a shark subject you want to learn more about, leave a comment. I promise that I will make the video. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, and happy Mother's Day, everybody, to all the wonderful mothers out there. You see the broadcast feed? Now watch, they're going to swim over there and chomp chomp.
Well, they're feeding them right there. Because of the window, look what's portraying on the glass.
That is so cool.
Because of my shirt. So when you watch that, don't get creeped out by it.
See it? And dropping the hole into the water to feed them with.
I'm trying to. Our glare is... There you go. Stay right there. They pulled it up.
Oh, look what he's chewing. You didn't catch that one chewing?
I'm trying, dear.
Oh, look again.
I'm getting. And he put. Could be. Oh, he's got a fish in his mouth, but look, he's eating him. Oh, he's eating him. He was eating him. Somebody's gonna come and get it. Somebody come and get it.
Oh, they'll come get it, don't worry. It's not gonna go to waste, baby. Now watch one of the stingrays is gonna come along and grab it.
Probably. I bet they had to restock this place every so often.
Maybe they don't eat the fish in the aquarium.
I bet they do.
No, they really don't.
That was somebody's third cousin up in here. What you talking about?
No, that one's
He's
chewing.
eating him.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it. I got it. Oh, I got that. I got that darn. You see the stingrays are swimming along the bottom, getting everything they find on the ground. I'm getting it.
And all these fish love when the sharks are up. They just gobble it all up. Look, we see the little fish. He's over here eating the fish.
He's trying to. Yeah. Oh, he's eating something.
Get a really good picture of their food here.
A picture or video or?
Yeah, just recorded. So I can see the size of the food they're eating. Oh, look at the pig. There's nobody here, honey.
I don't know. That's one.
Look like a baby.
Oh, okay.
Oh, watch. The stingray's gonna come get the fish now. Watch. Searching.
Might be kind of hard because it's down in that.
Oh, look.
Here he comes.
He's coming back to the spot because he knows it's there.
Little fish are feeding on that, like little.
Oh, look, the sharks are coming in.
I'm trying to zoom in. I'm trying to see what.
They know that there's just there, they're just trying to figure out how to get it.
Yeah.
And this photo array is in honor of Maria Wright, who this video is dedicated to. We are having a celebration of life for her on the 20th, where we will be going fishing in her memory because she loved fishing. She was the wonderful mother of 2 children, me and my little brother. And my brother has 7 children, so she was a grandmother of 7. She loved her babies so much, especially her little Aaron. He was her favorite. We were just so happy to have her in our life, and she meant so much to us. I honestly think the world has lost an angel. She loved animals, she loved fishing, she loved reading. She had a hobby of making blueprints. She would always watch YouTube videos. She was very much into the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. That was her favorite thing to watch. Johnny Depp is one of her favorite actors. She actually talked to him once on YouTube. Um, and yeah, she was just a great and wonderful person. Thank you all for tuning in to the end of this video. Have a great rest of your day.